What's your name?
Ashley Brown?
Miss Brown, you have a warrant for shoplifting out of, just a sec, out of Sarita. So I'm going to release you on that one, and you need to come back to court on April 15th at 8:30, or another warrant will issue for your arrest.
Okay.
And then you have a petition to revoke your probation in city court, and the allegations are that you failed to complete your intake and failed to do a substance abuse evaluation and treatment. So on that one, I'm going to hold you on a $250 bond and give you a public defender. And your next court date in city court will be on April 1st at 1:45.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Brown, go ahead and have a seat out there with the females. Miller.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Hi.
Your Honor, I do not have any Spanish speakers on my list.
No, I don't see any either. You're right. Thank you, Janita. You can be excused.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too. It's not sunny. I'm not, because I was trying to find the one in here and I was not paying attention to it. Thanks. Okay. What's your name, sir?
Patrick Miller.
All right, Mr. Miller, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct. And let me look and see what you're doing. Oh, wait a sec. I'm looking at the wrong person. Give me a second. I'm getting confused here. All right, Mr. Miller. I am going to order you not to have any contact with Jennifer Orvis, not return to her residence, work, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to court April 2nd at 10:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're released then.
Philip.
What's your name?
Philip Mortera.
You're charged with 3 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct. One is just a regular one, an assault and a domestic violence assault. I'm going to order you not to have any contact with Mia Decochea or her minor children, no return to their residences or her work, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. And you need to come back to Justice Court April 2nd at 10:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then you're released.
May I have a seat out there with the females? Where's real?
What's your name?
Louis James Sturgill.
You're charged with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct. I am going to order you not to have any contact with Jennifer Utter and not to return to her residence. And no acts of domestic violence. And you need to come back to court on April 2nd at 10:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you're released with those conditions.
Thank you. Am I good?
Yes, go ahead and have a seat out there. Anthony.
What's your name?
Anthony.
All right, Mr. Corrado, you got warrants out of Justice Court for shoplifting and drug possession from 2023, and from City Court, or from South Tucson City Court for shoplifting And then a new case and an old case is out of Tucson City Court. So I'm going to hold you on a $100 bond on your South Tucson case. Don't go back to the incident location. And I will appoint a lawyer. Just let me figure out who that would be. That would be Michael Vaughn to represent you on the South Tucson case. And then that court date will be tomorrow at 10. Then on your justice court case, I'm going to hold you on a $100 bond and appoint Judge Adam Waters to represent you. And that case will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Shouldn't be. No, it's tomorrow. I thought they were 2 days out now, the in custody soon. Okay. Okay. March 24th, tomorrow at 1 p.m., that one. And then you got a boatload of city court cases. Let's see your city court cases. You've got a new criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia, and then multiple failures to appear on some of the same kind of projects. So I'm going to order you not to go back to any of the incident locations. You've got an assault and domestic violence in there, no contact with any of the victims, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I will appoint the city public defender to represent you and hold you on a $750 bond on the city court cases. And your next court date will be April 1st at 1:45 on those. And that's it.
Okay, go ahead and stand up. Have a seat out there with the moving stick.
Will you fill in the dates for me on those other pages? And PD, let me check that at least. Okay, there's Mr. Corrado. All right. What's your name, sir?
Timothy Abeda.
Mr. Abeda, you're charged with domestic violence, criminal trespass, domestic violence, criminal damage, domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and refusing to, I don't know, some kind of telephone thing that's odd. But anyway, it's not stated as a DV. So if I release you, you are not to have any contact with Jessica Abeda. Do you understand that? And not to go
Yes,
to
ma'am.
her house at all?
Ma'am.
No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. Do you have any guns?
No, ma'am.
No guns while the case is pending. And your next court date is going to be April 22nd at 1:30. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're released.
Thank you, ma'am.
What's your name? Yeah, you don't look like Canberra, but what's your name? You are charged with domestic violence assault, 2 counts of domestic violence criminal damage, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. If I release you, you're not to have any contact with Matthew Strachey and not to return to his residence. Can you comply with that?
Yes, ma'am.
No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. You need to come back to city court April 22nd at 1:30 or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're released with those conditions.
And have a sit out there with the females. Kimberly, come.
What's your name?
Kimberly Bettis.
All right, I am seeing you on a drug paraphernalia case from today in Tucson City Court. So I think you have another hold. And so I'm going to release you on this one. If you are out of custody, you need to come to court May 16th at 9 o'clock. If you are in custody somewhere else, I'm appointing the public defender's office so they can find you and you don't get a warrant on this. Okay? All right. That's it. What's your name?
Kevin Carter, ma'am.
I know, Mr. Carter. Let's see. You have petitioned to revoke your probation on February 16th and March 1st and January 14th. You failed to report to adult probation as directed. On February 16th and January 13th, you failed to receive prior approval of APD before changing your residence. On February 20th, you failed to request and obtain written permission of adult probation prior to leaving the county. On February 16th, you failed to report to adult probation within 24 hours of release from residential treatment. On February 16th, you failed to complete residential treatment. So I will appoint Mr. Grinkowitz to represent you, hold you on a $5,000 cash bond, and see you April 9th at 1:30.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Zachary Baker.
You're charged with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct. I am going to order you not to commit any acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you and hold you on a $500 bond. And your next court date will be April 2nd at 1:30 in city court. And that's it, sir. What's your name?
Leon.
All right, Mr. Leon, I got a petition to revoke your probation. And the allegations are that on January 13th, you failed to report to adult probation as directed. On February 19th, you failed to reside in a residence approved by adult probation. February 10th, you failed to participate in domestic violence counseling or any kind of counseling. January, February, and March, you failed to submit to drug and alcohol testing. And February 20th, you failed to report for a scheduled review hearing. So I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you on that. And then you've got these two little criminal trespasses hanging around too that they'll represent you on everything. I am going to order you not to commit acts of domestic violence. I'm going to hold you on a $2,500 cash bond, and your next court date on these will be April 9th at 1:30. And that's it, sir.
Over here, Tana. Over here. Okay, come on. Wait, come on. Here, here, in front of the computer.
This one?
Yes.
That's Jerry.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Tatum.
All right, Mr. Tatum, you have new charges of theft, drug paraphernalia possession, criminal trespass, and failure to comply with a court order. And then all these other cases that you have failure to appear on for the same things. So I'm going to appoint a city public defender to represent you, order you not to go back to any of the incident locations, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold you on a $500 bond. And your next court date will be March 27th at 1:45.
Now go to the jail bed.
You're in jail, yes. All right, counsel. All right, are you Mr. Carruthers? Yes, you guys are muted.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Carruthers.
All right, looks like you're charged with aggravated assault on a police officer is what I see from this. And
Is there any way I can, like,
counsel, the state's asking for a $15,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Your Honor, we'd be asking for a much lower bond. Mr. Carruthers has no verified housing or employment, so a $15,000 bond is not going to meet his financial conditions. Additionally, no one was hurt in this incident, and he has only one prior felony from 2013, which was not violent. So for those reasons, we're asking for no more than a $2,500 bond.
Okay. All right.
Judge,
Yes.
he's a 6 out of 6. He's a yes, and he was throwing rocks at traffic on the interstate. This is incredibly dangerous. And I know he's not charged with
He
that.
was arrested. Yeah, he wasn't even charged with that, counsel. So he was charged with assaulting the police officer, is what I can tell from the probable cause statement.
The state's point is the subsequent charges are very likely in this situation. And as counsel pointed out, he doesn't have a residence, and he's not likely to be easily found or likely to show up given his rating, giving all of his ratings.
Okay. All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Carruthers. No return to the incident location, no contact with the victims, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold him on a $2,500 bond, pretrial services, and the preliminary hearing will be April 2nd at 1:30. Then Mr. Carruthers also has a justice court case from 2024. Stop lifting criminal trespass. Don't go back to the incident location. And I will appoint Adam Waters to represent him and hold him on a $100 bond so he gets seen tomorrow on that one. And so that one will be the 24th at 1 p.m. And then Mr. Carruthers has some city court case, and I am going to appoint the public defender, but release him on that. And if he gets out of custody, he should come back to court May 16th at 9 a.m. If he isn't out of custody, then the public defender will keep him up to date on this one. And that's it. We do those with Judge Blue's case too, right? That Judge Float's video review thingies. We signed those and yeah, I think we do. Okay. That's true. Not that he'll ever see it, but
Please answer.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Jesse Guerra.
All right.
G.
You have new charges of disorderly conduct, urinating in public, and being a public nuisance. And then you have a warrant for similar charges, drinking in public. So
What?
drinking in public. So I am going to order you not to have any contact with any of the victims. Don't return to that bus stop. No alcohol or illegal drugs. I am going to appoint the city public defender to represent you and hold you on a $200 bond. Your next court date will be April 1st at 1:45. And that's it, sir.
Yeah, this way. Felony. Going on for it? Okay. Right up.
And one,
So now.
What's your name?
A.T. Marshall Henry.
All right, Mr. Henry, you're charged with third-degree burglary and felony criminal damage. Counsel of the state's asking for a $5,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't believe a $5,000 bond is necessary in this case. He is homeless and unemployed. This is considered a non-violent offense, so we'd be asking for no more than $2,500.
Mr. Poston, did you want to say something?
Yes, on the NVCA is a 5 and a 6 on the NCA FTA, and therefore the state submits on its recommendation.
All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Henry. No return to the incident location, no contact with the victims there at the property, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold him on a $2,500 bond, pretrial services if posted, and the preliminary hearing will be April 2nd at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Let's sit back down with the minutes.
All right.
Out there.
Lee. Okay.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Matthew Bluey.
All right. You are charged with aggravated driving under the influence. Counsel, the state's asking for a $7,500 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking that you release him to pretrial services. He has no prior felony or misdemeanor convictions at 33 years old. He's a 1 on both scales. He doesn't have an active BCA flag. He's got verified housing, employment, and support. This is considered a nonviolent offense according to pretrial services. He's a level 1, so I don't believe there's any reason he should be held on a bond at this matter.
All right. Mr. Poston, did you want to say something?
No, Judge.
All right. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Lee and release you to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't drive without a valid license. You have to be monitored by pretrial services. And your next court date will be April 14th at 1:30. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Marino. So,
Hello.
What's your name, sir?
Matthew Marino.
We're charged with felony criminal damage and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Counsel, the state's asking for a $7,500 bond on this case. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd be asking for no more than a $3,000 bond. He is unemployed and homeless. He doesn't have any felony priors, and he has no violent misdemeanor priors. So for those reasons, we'd be asking for no more than $3,000.
All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Marino, order him not to have any contact with the victim, not to return to the incident location, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms. Do you have any guns, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, I am going to hold you on a $7,500 bond and pretrial services if posted. And the next court date will be a preliminary hearing April 2nd at 1:30.
Okay.
Lydia?
Hello.
What's your name, sir?
Jorge Murillo Mendoza.
All right, you are charged with aggravated shoplifting, and counsel, the state's asking for a $10,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. I first want to be heard on probable cause.
Okay.
I'm just pulling up the interim complaint here. One moment. So, Your Honor, there's no indication as to how they identified Jorge as the individual involved in these incidents. There's no victim statements. There's no surveillance footage they reference. They simply say it was him and he's been doing it for however long. And that sums it up. And I don't believe that meets probable cause to show that he was the person who indeed committed this crime.
Perhaps they recognized him after 16 times, but I will let Mr. Poston respond.
Your Honor, the state wholeheartedly agrees with the court's statement just now. And the fact is, he's a known quantity given the fact that he's stolen 16 times since December of 2022. And looking at the IC specifically for this individual, what I see here, PC existed, so on and so forth. He was caught shoplifting at the Walmart, and 16 times at the same Walmart on Valencia. This is not his first rodeo. They're well familiar with him, Your Honor. He's a consummate shoplifter. He just can't seem to not stop stealing, and therefore the state believes that the recommended bond is appropriate.
Okay, well, we're talking about probable cause here.
And Your Honor, the only
What? Go ahead.
excuse me.
What?
I would say that the only issue, the only concern was whether or not there's PC for this instant offense. And given the fact that there was 16 previous ones, they knew who they were dealing with, Your Honor.
Well, so I guess, I mean, I think defense counsel has a point but they said he was caught shoplifting at the Walmart. And during the investigation, it's not the greatest probable cause statement I've ever heard, counsel, but I do think it's enough to get past this level tonight. The fact that he was, they were investigating it and then discovered he had shoplifted at the same Walmart. So I am going to uphold the probable cause. And then, well, how do you feel about that $10,000 bond?
Does it need to be high, that, Your Honor? He's unemployed and homeless. And this is non-violent offense. I don't believe it needs to be nearly as high as 10,000.
Okay. Well, I will point out that he's a level 4. He's got shoplift warrants out of city court and a criminal trespass, a new trespass out of justice court. So I am going to appoint the public defender for Mr. Mario Mendoza. I'm going to order him not to return to the incident location, no contact with the victims, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold him on a $7,500 bond, pretrial services if posted, and April 2nd at 1:30 will be the preliminary hearing. Then on the related criminal trespass, I will make sure I make a note on that, that's a related felony. I will hold him on $100 bond and give him Mr. Waters to represent him on that justice court. And then they will see you tomorrow on that, sir. And that way, Mr. Waters will know that you have another case pending in Superior Court too that's related to this same thing. And then your city court case is our theft and shoplift, the same things. So I'm going to order you not to go back to the incident locations. And I'm going to hold you on a $500 bond on those. And though your next court date in city court will be April 1st at 1:45. And you will have a city public defender on those. And that's it, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember, were you here the other night, council, when we had this same problem? Maybe not, where the cops, they are on a roll where they just cite everything with the wrong charge. So this should have been a narcotic drug.
I'm sorry, Judge, are you talking to me?
I couldn't remember if it was you or I can't remember the other attorney's name. But we did something with it when they cited it as a dangerous drug and it should be a narcotic drug. And I think it was the other public defender I dealt with all the time, and he agreed to the amendment because I can't remember what the consequences would have been worse for some reason if he didn't agree to the amendment. But how do you feel about the fact that this was cited wrong? I mean, she still has a paraphernalia charge, I guess, and she's still got a pending case. I can't tell from pretrial, but it looks like it, right?
I'm just looking at some. Okay.
Your Honor, I think the last time I had this happen on Thursday night with a different judge, he only considered the paraphernalia count as probable cause. From what I remember, it wasn't super clear. That's what I would be asking.
Okay. All right, Mr. Poston. I think
Your Honor, the state's
go ahead.
the state's position is even if there's any dispute as to the other charge, we can still proceed on paraphernalia and LE can amend as needed.
All right.
I mean, technically speaking, we could hold her no bond, but we're not going to go forward with that.
All right. Well, I'm going to dismiss the dangerous drug charge because this was not a dangerous drug. It was a narcotic drug. And then, Ms. Rabator, what you have left is the drug paraphernalia. And so with the drug paraphernalia, she's not eligible for steps, right?
Actually, sorry.
She's already on steps, Judge.
Okay.
I see my caseworker tomorrow.
So I guess, are you agreeing, counsel, to the $2,500 bond as opposed to a no bond hold?
I don't think it needs to be high, that, Your Honor. I mean, it's a drug charge, but in lieu of no bond, we don't want her held no bond, so.
Yeah.
I go to Fox Mission tomorrow, literally at 10 in the morning.
All right, so I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Ms. Rabator and no alcohol or illegal drugs and a $2,500 bond in lieu of no bond. And the preliminary hearing will be April 2nd at 1:30. All right, thank you all.
All right, thank you. Good night, Your Honor.
Great.
Good night.